So essentially, a tariff is an import fee. Now, the problem with that is that a lot of companies and a lot of importers will not just purely absorb that extra fee that they're gonna have to pay. Now, double it, triple it, and think about how that's really going to hurt Americans, how it's really gonna hurt families. One thing that I can say is that on a positive note, if you are an aspiring Amazon seller, this is 100% going to weed out the people who were just gonna find some random Chinese product, throw it up on Amazon and not put a lot of effort into it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna be talking all about tariffs. There is so much in the news right now. Day by day, things are changing, and I want to let you know what my thoughts are around how this will affect Amazon businesses and what you should be doing if you are looking to launch a product on Amazon in lieu of all of the tariff conversation that's going around. So if you want to know more, stick around in this video. Before we get started, go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already for all of the news on tariffs, all of the news on e-commerce and selling on Amazon, including importing products from overseas, because there are so many changes that are happening on a daily basis, and I will be keeping up with all of them here on this channel. So make sure that you subscribe and like the video if you do end up enjoying it. Just as a heads up, down in the description box of this video, I have a link to all of my resources, including my free Amazon training along with my step-by-step program. If there's anything in this video that you like and you want to learn more about selling on Amazon using the business model that has made me millions, you can go ahead and click on that link below as well. All right, before we start talking about what is actually going on present day, and at the time of recording this video, it is April 12th, 2025. I don't know what is going to be going on a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, but this can be a marker of the times that we're in right now. Before we get into that though, let me just explain what these tariffs are and why there is so much commotion and so much panic around what is going on right now. So essentially, a tariff is an import fee. So whoever is importing the product into whichever country is the person or the company that pays for the tariff. Now, there's a big misconception because of a certain president that tariffs are something that is paid by the country that these tariffs are being imposed on, and that's a complete misconception, and it's incorrect completely. What it actually is that me as a U.S. business and as someone who is importing products from China into the US, when a tariff goes into effect on Chinese goods, I am the one that pays for that on the front end. So when the products get to the United States, I have to pay that extra fee for them to be let into the United States and for me to sell it on Amazon and make my money, right? Now, the problem with that is that a lot of companies and a lot of importers will not just purely absorb that extra fee that they're going to have to pay. And we're going to get into the numbers, which are just unbelievable, really is the only word to describe them, but I'll get there. But either way, I am, as the company, I'm not going to absorb that cost because I can't afford to. It's my business. I have to think about my bottom line. I have to think about my profitability. And so I really only have one other option if I'm not going to absorb the cost myself, which is to pass that cost onto the consumer. What does that mean? It means that if before I was paying $1 for a product to come into the US, now because of the tariffs, I'm paying double that price. And I'm just using that as an example. So if I am paying for double of what I was expecting to pay, then now I'm going to increase my price to offset the cost of what I had to pay. Now that doesn't seem like a very big deal when we're talking about a $1 product, but think about it, when the products start to become more and more expensive, where before you would have been paying $4 for a product, now you're paying $8. What would have been an $8 product is now $16. Now these are significant numbers, and these are really going to affect the cost of goods for all US consumers. And so when it comes to these tariffs, it affects everyone except for the ultra wealthy. When I say ultra wealthy, I don't mean me with my, 7 figures off Amazon. It's great. It's impressive. I'm happy. But at the same time, even I will feel that. I have a child. I am not a billionaire. I'm not Elon Musk. I'm not Jeff Bezos himself. So it's going to affect all of us. Anyone who's watching this video, you are going to feel the effects one way or another. If it's not with just regular everyday consumer goods that you would find on Amazon, think about other industries that will be affected by these costs increasing for certain materials, for certain tools, for certain resources. For example, now the cost of cars that are coming in from overseas are going to go up because of the materials that are going to be used, the parts that are going to be used, coming from all of these different countries. And so it's a very, very scary concept because right now, again, this is April of 2025, inflation is at an all-time high. I mean, the cost of eggs for a 12 carton is $10. Gas is up. Everything is up right now. And so you think about how much people are struggling in this current moment. Now double it, triple it, and think about how that's really going to hurt Americans, how it's really going to hurt families. And it's just so sad to watch it all happen. You know, I am grateful that I'm in a position to where I can withstand, you know, eggs being $10. I can withstand paying a little more for gas and for clothes and for whatever. But the average person is not going to be able to absorb that. And it's just really a shame that this is where we are right now. So hopefully that helps you understand the concept of tariffs and why they matter, why they affect everybody, and why you can't just do something like say, I'm going to increase tariffs by 20%, 25%, 50%, 100%. You are effectively affecting everything and everyone's, you know, cost of living. Everyone's lifestyle is going to take a hit from that. Okay, now let's talk about the numbers of what is going on right now. So when the current president, Donald Trump, got in office, he had, you know, promised that he was going to impose these tariffs on China. And this isn't the first time. He said it in his first, you know, run as president. He's saying it again now. Predictions prior to him actually getting elected were somewhere, I think, and I might be wrong, but I want to say it was somewhere in the 20% range or 12% or something like that, where he was going to increase tariffs. And of course that was scary. And I recognized it at that time, you know, pre-election. And that's one of the reasons I voted the way that I did, amongst many. But that was something that I knew for a fact was going to affect a lot of Americans, a lot of, you know, regular people. And as successful as I might be now, I haven't always been this way. I thought about how that would have affected me if I was still a kid with a single mom trying to provide for 3 kids. And now she's having to pay double and triple for the goods that she's used to getting at a certain price. I care about things like that. And it definitely just scared me even at that time to think about that happening. Okay, now we have had, what has it been, 3 months, February, March, April, 3 months of this new administration. And as the days have gone on, as the weeks have gone on, these tariffs have increased. And I don't even want to say gradually, because 3 months is a short amount of time to go from a 3% tariff rate to a 145% tariff rate, which is what is imposed on Chinese goods on this current day. And I say on this current day because 2 days ago, I think it was 125%. So the graduation of how this has gone, and I'm going off of my memory, these numbers might be slightly off, but it was what originally was said prior to the election, which I want to say was like, again, 20%, if that. And then it was implemented at the beginning of April. It was 34%. It went from 34% to an additional 50 something percent to then an additional 104%. I say all that to say that in this current moment, we have 145% tariff rates on Chinese goods. So not only are you paying what feels like more because the economy is so bad and inflation is so high, but now you are doing it 1.5 times what you're used to paying for your current products. So for a product that I in the past would have been able to buy for $5, now you multiply that by 145%. And now we're looking at what, $12, $13 for a product that would have cost me $5 3 months ago before these tariffs were instituted. So a lot of small businesses are going to suffer. And as much as you guys might think that I'm a large business, maybe I am from your perspective, but technically I am still a medium-sized business, you know, or if that, I might be still considered a small business. So with that, if I am already, you know, feeling the pressure, feeling the stress of what is going on because it puts a squeeze on your profit margins, imagine how other people must be feeling who, you know, are not seeing the type of revenue numbers that I've been blessed to see. How is this going to affect, you know, tiny companies, mom and pops, these family-run businesses are all going to suffer as a result. Okay, sorry if I felt like I was getting a little bit worked up. It's because I feel strongly about this and I just hate that this is what is happening right now. But we have to live in the present. We have to find ways to figure out a way to keep our businesses going and keep our businesses moving. One thing that I can say is that on a positive note, if you are an aspiring Amazon seller, this is 100% going to weed out the people who were just gonna find some random Chinese product, throw it up on Amazon and not put a lot of effort into it. So now there is a little bit more of a barrier to entry, but the good news is you can take advantage of that. You can utilize the fact that not a lot of other people are gonna start selling on Amazon at a time like this because they're so afraid of these tariffs. Now, the bright side, there are not 145% tariffs on goods from all countries. This is specifically targeted towards Chinese imported goods to the US, and it's because of whatever the president feels is right, emotional, personal feelings towards China. I don't know if it's actually backed by any facts, if there's any evidence or anything to justify why this is being done, but China is also retaliating. They are also imposing huge tariffs on US goods. Right now, they're at 125%, I believe is the number for American goods going into China. So now the Chinese citizens are also going to have to pay more for their American goods. So if you guys are picking up what I'm putting down, the only people suffering are us. These politicians are making moves and putting laws into effect, implementing these different, tariffs and different rates. And we are the ones who are suffering and are going to continue to suffer as a result. So what you want to do right now, if you are selling on Amazon and you are based in the US, even if you're not based in the US and you're selling on the US marketplace, you need to start looking in other places for your goods. Now, good news is that you can still utilize Alibaba. In fact, the next video that's going to go up, I'm going to be showing you how to filter things out so that you can see goods that are made in places outside of China. I'm hoping that this doesn't last long because it's just a lose-lose for everybody involved, besides the egos of the people making these choices. But for the consumers, we're all losing all around, and even the importers were losing as well to have to pay more money up front to get these products in. In the meantime, and I think it's been a 90-day extension for all other countries who are going to have products imported into the US, what I believe is 10%. Again, things are changing day by day. So at the time that you're watching this video, I don't know what that number is going to be, but right now you can import products from other countries and only pay 10% versus 145% that you would pay if it was coming from China. Another alternative is to look for American manufacturers. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say you're going to get stuff for the same price that you would from these Chinese manufacturers. You're not. You're going to pay an elevated price. The nice thing is that it's not going to be imported if it's made in the US, and you'll be able to avoid, the shipping from overseas. You'll be able to avoid the importing fees at customs and all of that, but you are going to pay more money for the good itself. So it's something to think about. What I am currently doing is I'm researching other countries where I can have my products made right off the top of my head. I'm thinking about suppliers that are in Vietnam, ones that are in India, ones that are in the Philippines, and just other areas where they might have the infrastructure and they might have, the support to be able to produce these products on the scale that these Chinese manufacturers were able to do. It is going to require a bit more effort to find the right supplier now that we are limited and we're not entertaining the ones in China at this current moment. I hope that this is going to be temporary. I hope that things level out. I hope that, the leaders realize how much this is hurting people and that, they come to a resolution for something that is equitable and something that is not going to, put people out of business, something that is not going to make it impossible for hardworking Americans and hardworking people to be able to provide, simple necessities for their families. It's an awful thing that's going on right now. And my heart goes out to anyone who this is affecting on a severe level. But either way, again, when we're talking about Amazon, look elsewhere for these manufacturers, because right now that 140% or 145% tariff rate is going to absolutely make it virtually impossible for you to be profitable on Amazon. So that is what I have to say. Again, tune in for the next video because I will share my screen and show you how I'm looking and going to be looking for suppliers in the near future until all of this settles down and gets resolved. So sorry for a video that might seem like doom and gloom. I don't mean it to come across that way, but this is reality, and I have to be, as honest and transparent as I can be with you guys so that you know what is going on and so that you know where the opportunity lies at this current moment in time. You have a chance in this moment to do something that other people are going to be scared to do, which is launching that product on Amazon, and everyone is going to, kind of be behind. You'll have a head start if you still persevere, you get a little bit creative with how you source your products, and you'll still be able to, launch something good and have something up and running for hopefully when things level out and normalize out. So either way, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that it helped you kind of understand what's going on and all of the conversation around this right now. And I'm looking forward to talking more, sharing more information with you guys as it becomes available. So have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.